Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Hope you're all doing well. Today we've got a few news stories in the world of tech and PC gaming. First up, we're going to be talking about Halo Infinite, which now has a release date as well as some official system requirements, minimum and recommended, that we'll be talking about, so you could find out if you'll be able to run Halo Infinite once it releases this holiday season. And also a new rumor/leak suggests that we could be seeing an RTX 3090 Super, because obviously everyone's asking for that, because everyone can find 3090s. They're so readily available that we need a higher-end variant. That's just common sense. So let's get into it, shall we? But first, today's video is brought to you by Prime Tech Mart, where you can grab software products like Windows 10 Pro licenses for extremely cheap. They've also got Office products and Visio, as well as many more. You can save a lot of money on these keys with something like Windows 10 Pro. You can grab for just $21.43. It's a lifetime activation, so you don't ever need to renew it. You don't need to create an account with them in order to be able to buy it, and you get your key in just a matter of seconds. And if you hit up the links down in the description below and you want to save yourself an additional 20% off of any software over there, just go ahead and use my code JP20 at checkout, apply that, and it'll drop down 20%. So here on Windows 10 Pro for $21, you drop that down to $17 and you're fully activated for life. For more information, check out those links down in the description below along with the coupon code. First up, let's talk about Halo Infinite. We've been seeing a lot of news coming out of Gamescom, which is going on this week. And yeah, we've got some new info about Halo Infinite. First up, actually, let's talk about the release date. Just kind of a quick mention on this. This was actually posted, it seemed inadvertently, or maybe just kind of ahead of schedule, over on the Italian version of the Microsoft Store, where it lists the release date for Halo Infinite of December 8th. Which obviously, after being delayed for a year, and now we also know there's going to be some, long-standing features of the series that are even going to still be missing at launch after all of the delays. Still, the co-op mode for and Forge is not going to be in the game when it comes out. Basically, it's going to be single-player and multiplayer only. So even with the extra delays and all the time they've spent on Halo Infinite, pushing it back until December 8th, basically right before Christmas, they're still not going to have key features ready for this game, and that's just very disappointing, honestly. It's just the state of gaming, and it's the way it's progressively gotten. It's just like, hey, if we can't even finish the game, we're just going to push it out anyway, because we need those big holiday numbers to help make all our investors happy. But, gamers kind of get shafted there, and then we end up waiting months until these things finally get implemented into the game. But we're essentially still paying, for an incomplete product. In my opinion, if they're going to ship half a game, then we should pay half the price. And when they want to put that stuff in later on, then they can get their extra $30. How about that for a proposal, Microsoft? Maybe if you want to get the full $60, $70, whatever you're going to be charging for this game, finish it first. Just food for thought. Next up, the system requirements for Halo Infinite. Will you be able to run this game on your PC? Chances are yes, honestly. In my experience, it's really not that taxing of a game, but the recommended requirements for it are actually kind of on the high side, honestly. But we will start off with the minimum requirements, which is saying you will need a 64-bit processor and operating system, as this game is going to be running on DirectX 12 for the PC, so you need to have Windows 10 RS3 x64 or up. For the CPU, they're saying an AMD FX 8370 or i5 4440. So nothing too crazy there on the CPU. Pretty much any modern Intel or Ryzen CPU will probably be able to handle this game fine. 8 gigabytes of system memory, and for the graphics, an RX 570 or a 1050 Ti. And those are not insignificant GPUs, but I think probably most people watching this probably have something for at least equivalent or better. And for storage, they're saying 50 gigabytes of hard drive space, which is pretty standard, nothing crazy. I thought it could have been more than that, honestly. Sometimes, with these games, we see 100 plus gigabytes, and I thought maybe Halo Infinite might be one of those, but 50 gigabytes is fairly reasonable for 2021. On the recommended side of things, they do get a bit beefier on the specs. Again, you do need to have a 64-bit operating system with Windows 10, saying that you need the 19H2 update or newer. And for the processor, AMD Ryzen 7 3700X or an Intel i7 9700K. For 16 gigabytes of RAM for system memory. On the graphics side, this is where it gets a little beefy. Radeon RX 5700 XT or RTX 2070. So decent, like mid to high tier GPUs is what they're recommending here, which typically would target 1080p, 60 frames per second. But based on performance numbers I've already seen for the play tests on Halo Infinite, I feel like either one of those graphics cards would probably be even okay for this title at 1440p. I'm just throwing that out there. It's just, kind of what I've seen. I've seen videos on many graphics cards of people benchmarking the Halo Infinite playtest. So I'm pretty confident either one of those cards will be okay for 1440p. Maybe you got to dial back one or two settings, but even then probably not. But we'll wait and see. December 8th. I guess it's not really close, but it's also not insanely far. Hopefully they actually get it out by then. And hopefully the co-op and the Forge mode do follow very shortly thereafter. Next up, a story that I'm sure all of you have been waiting for months, years even possibly, to get this announcement, because everyone is going to be sitting there. We've all got our fingers on the trigger, ready to go, as soon as they launch the RTX 3090 Super. Oh wait, no, nobody was doing that. Nobody is waiting for a 3090 Super. No one could buy 3090s. Barely anyone can afford a 3090, even if they were $1,500 and up for custom variants of the card. So, of course, if this actually does come to fruition, the 3090 Super, I don't expect it to go over well with the gaming community. I'm pretty sure people will be a little bit pissed off about NVIDIA launching this card, if it ends up being true. Again, this is just a rumor. It's a leak from someone that is a fairly well-known leaker who's been accurate in the past. He's also been inaccurate, but he's been more accurate than not. So the user over on Twitter goes by the name of Greymon55, and he simply leaked out 3090 Super and the CUDA core count at 10,752, and it's going to have 400 watt plus TDP. And of course, looking over on videocards.com, you can see the comparisons here with the 3080 Ti as well as the 3090. So CUDA cores, very insignificant upgrade. We're going from 10,496 to 10,752. So you would expect the performance difference there to be equivalent to what we see between a 3080 Ti and a 3090 in situations where we're not coming in with a VRAM buffer issue, okay? Because obviously the 3090 has more VRAM. But just on straight up CUDA core count, which is typically we're seeing maybe 1 to 3% performance difference between the 3080 Ti and the 3090, we're probably going to see the exact same difference here with the 3090 and the 3090 Super. So of course, absolutely no reason to get a 3090 Super if you have a 3090 or any, like a 3080 Ti, 3080, no reason to really go for that. But if you happen to miss out on the 30 series because of the supply shortages, once this card is available, if it is actually available, I guess you would go for the higher end card as long as the price is not too crazy. But even so, still, if both of them were in stock, and depending on if it's like $100 more than the 3090, I would say no, just get the 3090. I would just go for the 3090 even in that case. But I feel like we'll probably be ending up with certain instances where this card will be maybe available, but you can't find the 3090. So of course, in those situations, just get a card, whichever one you can get, and which one you can afford. But yeah, for most people, I don't think really anyone was asking for this, and we'll just have to wait and see on whether or not this actually ends up being true. As again, take it with a grain of salt, just a leak from Twitter. We really don't have anything else to go on there from that, but please let me know down in the comments below if we do get a 3090 Super, what are your thoughts on it? Even if you wouldn't be planning to buy one, what would you think of NVIDIA releasing this card at this point in time when people still can't get their hands on other 30 series cards? We'll just have to wait and see on that. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Can your system run Halo Infinite? If you tried the playtest, actually, let us know what your performance numbers were like on your system, because I'm always looking to get more data on that, as I was never invited into the playtest, so I've only seen metrics really from articles and YouTube videos with like FPS overlays and stuff like that for different cards. And I mean, the performance looks fine from what I've seen. It looks to be running very smooth. It's not a very visually demanding game, it would seem. Most Halo games aren't really that, graphically intensive. So yeah, hopefully it runs good when it comes out, and those 5700 XTs will be more than enough to be able to power the game at 1080p and even 1440. But I'm going to get out of here, as I said, and I will catch you guys next time.